Good evening, haunters. Welcome back to another episode of Holiday Horrors. In tonight's episode, an unexpected gift captures the heart of a fair maiden, and they soon learn that all that glitters isn't gold. It's Christmas time all over the world, and the season for giving.
What is it? Can't tell you. You have to see for yourself. But Christmas isn't for a few more days yet. I know, but it couldn't wait. I need to show it to you now. You know I hate surprises, Andy. Yeah, but you're going to love this one. Are you sure?
She laughed.
Yes.
He stopped her in front of his gift and removed her blindfold. The only thing that escaped her lips was a sharp gasp, then nothing. Her silence made him feel uncertain. Andy eyed the gift. He figured his wife would like it, but there was also that 50-50 chance that she would hate it. Oh well, nothing to do about it now. He had already bought it, cleaned it, and shined it up real nice before putting a big red silk bow on it. But, damn.
Yes. No. Do you like it? Want me to return it?
Still nothing. Definitely wasn't the reaction he was hoping for. Willow stayed quiet, not knowing what to say. The present knocked her voice clean out of her. She stared at it in awe. Never had she seen something so beautiful in all her life. The only thing she could say was,
It looks really expensive.
Andy frowned in disappointment.
Really? Are you saying you don't like it? No, I love it. Holy shit. I was expecting something silly, but this?
She finally moved to touch it. It was large. A white vanity with a golden trim and intricately carved wood. The little pillow seat and humongous mirror struck a fancy in her heart.
Holy shit, she's gorgeous.
Her words trailed off.
She? Yes. She.
Willow sat down gingerly in the seat, making herself comfortable.
Well, is it wife approved?
Andy put his hands on her shoulders.
Oh, yes it is. There's another gift that came with it.
He quickly went to pick up a golden wrap box with a matching bow from under the tree and brought it to her.
Early Merry Christmas! Oh, you...
Willow was near tears.
Andy...
She took the box and slowly opened it. Inside was a small white and gold wooden box that opened to reveal a set that matched the vanity. It held a comb, a brush, and a hand mirror, along with a beautiful bottle of perfume. At her stunned silence, Andy scratched his head.
I bought them together. It was a set. These are as old as the vanity. The perfume was recreated. The original scent, that is. Original scent?
Willow questioned curiously.
Yes, something called...
He strained his memory.
Eau de Cologne. It was the most expensive perfume of the Victorian era. Really?
Willow turned around, smiling.
Yes.
Andy kissed her shoulder, then the back of her neck.
Well, according to my extensive research, it was made from the petals of the 100 leaves rose, called the Provence rose. According to Wikipedia, anyway. Go on, smell it.
Willow opened up the beautiful decanter and sniffed its contents, inhaling deeply as it wrapped around her.
It smells good. It had better.
He grumbled, thinking about the price. She looked back at him, making him quickly smile again.
Come on, it's time for breakfast. You may be on vacation, but I still have to go to work. I know.
She rolled her eyes playfully and sat the perfume down.
Go get yourself together and I'll cook you something. See you in a minute.
Andy bounded up the stairs while Willow took one last look in the mirror, admiring the beautiful gift one last time before getting up to cook breakfast. In 30 minutes, Andy was out of the house and Willow began her daily routine, relaxing. She wasn't doing anything else, not on vacation. In fact, she wasn't even cooking dinner. Takeout sounded better. Hours of relaxing later found her dozing in front of the TV. the drone of the talk show filling the empty spaces as she slept. Suddenly, she woke with a start. Something moved. Groggily, Willow sat up and wiped at her eyes.
Andy?
The hum of the refrigerator answered her. Maybe she was having a dream and woke from it? So why did, all of a sudden, she felt less than alone?
Andy?
Willow got off the couch and began walking around the house. What woke her? Was it a mouse? She checked for droppings, but nothing. Maybe it was her own imagination. Finding nothing out of sorts, she went to the restroom, grabbed a snack, and fell back asleep. Before 2:30, Willow was back up, making a table for the Chinese takeout that she wanted when that weird feeling returned. Her eyes scanned the room. She put the paper towels down and slowly walked up to the front. She couldn't see anything, but her gut said something was amiss. What was it? She grabbed her phone.
If someone's here, I'm calling the police.
Silence.
I'm serious. Show yourself.
Willow gulped down air as she continued looking for the interloper. Yet again, she remained alone. It was hard to explain. Something was giving her the heebie-jeebies. Nice time for that on her first day of vacation. Warily, Willow walked through the house, freezing as she bypassed the vanity. As she stared at it, she began to feel at ease, and walking over to it made a weird feeling fade just as fast. She looked at herself in the mirror, turning her head to the side, smiling and admiring her face and bone structure. Funny. She never cared about such things before. Leisurely, she turned this way and that, her slender fingers tracing a path down her neck. The door opened.
Willow, I'm home.
Andy barged through, carrying large bags with him.
Oh, you're down here. I thought you'd be upstairs in bed. That's how you usually spend your vacation. Andy?
Willow stood up, confused.
What are you doing home? It's only 3.
She looked at the setting sun through the window, baffled.
What? Did you order takeout?
Andy asked. Her eyes widened.
Shit, I forgot. Give me the phone. I'll order. No, don't. I'm glad you didn't. We'll order tomorrow.
He grinned.
My sister went to a party and bought a lot of food for me.
He pointed out the bags he was holding up.
Come on, let's eat.
All through dinner, Willow kept wondering about that lapse in time. What happened? She was just looking in the mirror, then poof, her husband was walking through the door and it was nearly 8 p.m. What happened to that time? After dinner, they cleaned up the mess and laid down to watch TV.
Willow? Willow, what are you doing?
Huh? What?
It's 2:30 in the morning. Why are you sitting down here?
Down here?
Willow blinked a few times as she looked around the darkened room. Once again, she was sitting down at the vanity, though this time it was pitch black.
What the hell is this? Are you sleepwalking or something?
Andy frowned.
Come on, let's get back to bed. Jesus, you're weirding me out.
He led Willow back upstairs, throwing a side eye at the antique vanity with worry. He knew it was nice, but how much did she have to love it? The news played in the background as Andy drank his coffee. He was staring at the vanity. It was 5:30 in the morning and he couldn't sleep. It was a Saturday, so he didn't have to work, but he did have a job to do. He made up his mind. The vanity needed to go. Andy took another sip of coffee, already planning on how to get rid of the gift. In the short time it was there, Willow's personality had completely changed. She'd gone from a fun, energetic, and loving woman to a virtual sleepwalking zombie. At this rate, he was starting to think the thing was cursed or something. Well, whatever it was about to disappear. In fact, that was the first thing on the agenda for the day. With one last suspicious glance at the vanity, he turned around, damn near spilling his coffee. Willow was silently standing on the stairs, staring at him.
Jesus, Willow! You almost gave me a fucking heart attack!
He shakily put his cup down.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
She asked flatly.
Nothing.
Was he being accused of doing something?
Just looking at the vanity.
Oh,
Willow slowly walked down the stairs.
breakfast?
Okay.
Breakfast was awkward. Willow sat in silence, her attention divided between him and the vanity until he couldn't take it anymore. Frustrated, he put his silverware down.
What's going on, Willow?
She slowly dragged her eyes away from the vanity and stared blankly at him.
What do you mean, Andy? You keep staring at the vanity. You want me to take it back? No!
She stood up, then tried to calmly sit back down.
No. No, why? Well, you seem to be a bit preoccupied with it. If it's bothering you, I can take it back.
She stood up and walked past him, hints of the Victorian perfume caressing him as she walked to the coffee pot. With more vigor than she had shown in days, she quickly put on another pot.
It's fine. Finish eating so we can spend the day together.
Silently, Andy eyed her before he gave a glance to the vanity. Yep, he was definitely getting rid of it, he decided, taking another cup of coffee when it was offered to him. It had to go. Andy's eyes slowly opened. He was extremely tired.
Willow?
He focused on his watch, surprised to see it was 2 p.m.
Shit.
He fought to sit up. His bladder was full and tried to think of what happened. It felt like he was walking in a haze. He was so out of it, he had to sit down on the toilet just to pee. If he leaned over too far, he was sure to fall.
Willow. Willow, help me!
He couldn't see her, but he heard her footsteps.
Something's wrong. I can't focus.
Silently, she began lifting Andy and helping him pull his pants up.
Willow, what?
They looked at each other, and for a second, he swore he was looking at another person.
Who are you? Willow!
She laid him down on the bed and settled him in.
There you go, Andy. Here.
Willow gave him some warm coffee and he quickly went back to sleep. A soft chime woke him up. Midnight. Holy shit, had he slept half his weekend away? Fighting against the fog in his head, Andy sat up and looked at Willow's empty bedside.
Willow.
His throat was dry. He kicked his legs off the bed and stumbled forward to the bathroom. Feeling better than earlier, he used the facilities and went downstairs to grab some cold water out of the fridge. After soothing his throat, he turned his attentions to the mysterious lady he was sure he had seen.
Willow. Willow, where are you? There was someone else in the house.
Andy slowly walked through the living room, stopping as the vanity caught his eye. Willow was sitting there, but another woman was looking at him through the mirror. His blood ran cold.
What the fuck?
He shouted in disbelief as he ran over to Willow and snatched her away from the antique.
Get away from there! Get away!
He moved Willow behind him, keeping a horrified eye on the mirror.
Did you see that? Someone was staring at me. Did you see it? We got to get this thing out of here. I'll put it in the garage along with the other stuff.
He was running around trying to find something to cover the damn thing with. A soft rustling sounded on the stairs. Andy turned around to see a woman in a beautiful Victorian dress walking down the steps. Before he could even react, the lights went out, plunging the house into complete darkness. Not even the hum of the refrigerator could be heard, and Willow was gone, but the woman was still traveling his way. Andy ran to the door, but it refused to open. He turned around to see the visitor had stopped, leaving her face eerily in shadow. He couldn't see, but he could feel it. The thing was smiling.
Get away from me, bitch.
He ran past her and back up the stairs.
Willow! Willow, where are you? We need to leave!
But he couldn't find her. Where was she? He ran back downstairs, heart pounding as he looked for the woman who was no longer there.
Shit!
He hugged himself. It was cold. Forget it. He couldn't find her. It was time to get rid of that damn vanity. The moment he put his hands on it, the walls began to pound, as if someone was punching them non-stop. The pounding stopped as footsteps approached.
Get away from me!
Andy picked up the comb and threw it across the room, receiving a hard hit in the chest for his efforts that sent him flying across the room. As he quickly picked himself up, Willow appeared in front of him, but the woman from the mirror was right behind her. He eyed her and she eyed him, but Andy was determined. Nothing would stop him from throwing that vanity away and getting Willow out of there. Without a second thought, he flew into action, pushing his unwanted visitor to the ground and grabbing Willow's hand.
Come on, I'll get you to the car first, then I'll throw that damn vanity away.
They ran to the door and Andy threw it open. He took one step forward before Willow resisted.
What? What is it? Come
He turned around to face her.
on.
The Victorian woman was smiling while clutching his hand. Andy looked at the woman picking herself up off the floor. Willow stood up, never taking her eyes off him.
Willow?
The Victorian woman spoke gutturally, calling him by name. Slowly, Andy looked at her with terror-filled eyes. Her mouth was a void, as were her eyes. It took a moment to notice the dark tentacle hanging from her maw that was slowly inching its way forward. A sound that could only be likened to a low warning siren accompanied even more tentacles that slowly slithered down, then quickly shot out, piercing his skin in various areas. His head, shoulders, chest, and lower torso were penetrated, making Andy scream and scream as he slowly began losing consciousness. He was being eaten alive. Painfully, his eyes rolled over to look at Willow, his heart breaking as she smiled at him. It was the last thing he saw as his world fell dark. Andy kissed his mother goodnight. Christmas went off without a hitch. He had so much fun, and so did Willow. He was almost reluctant to return home.
Man, I'm so tired.
Willow yawned.
Me too.
Andy smiled as he relaxed in the passenger seat. Willow pulled up to the house and then went inside. Immediately, Andy's skin slid to the floor. The Victorian shedding Andy's image and throwing his mother's gift at Willow. She caught it and took it to the basement. Behind a nearly sealed wall was Andy's withered remains, thrown unceremoniously in. Willow tossed the shirt he wanted for Christmas in with him.
Merry Christmas, Andy.
She smiled, a tentacle curling from her lips.
Your mom says hi.
Try to surprise your best girl with the best gift, and it turns around to bite you in the ass. Season's eatings.